No dobra, ale to co ja miałem pokazać, gdzie jest ten Tencent? O, proszę bardzo, ja mam pending order na Tencent. Okej, to jest firma Tencent, to jest chińska firma. HK, nie wiem, Hongkong, nie wiem co to. I teraz tak, 384 teraz kosztuje. Chciałbym sobie wejść na pozycję przy takiej pozycji, nie? 3. I teraz zwróćcie volume, market cap. Patrz jaki market cap. To po pierwsze, widziałeś jaki market cap? Najniżej było poniżej 200 w ostatnim roku. No teraz stoi dosyć wysoko. Widzisz, nawet pod 400 było, jest wysoko. Ja chcę przy 3, czyli gdzieś tutaj bym chciał wejść. Co nie jest odrealnione. No ale nawet jakby spadło tak o, to też bym dokupił wtedy. Tak, to jest gigant, ale czemu wam to teraz pokazuję? Okej, to może o Discordzie parę słów. Obejrzymy sobie materiał, co wy na to? No ja chcę sobie zainwestować trochę w ten Tencent, w kilka pozycji wejść. Ja zwykle jak wchodzę, to wiesz, na indeksy i z mniejszymi kwotami jakieś, na różne pozycje. Na przykład wszedłem teraz na Teslę znowu przy 185. Był powyżej 200 jeszcze niedawno, i sobie ustawiłem jeszcze kolejną pozycję na 169, czyli zakładam, że spadnie tak czy siak, nie? No, mimo że mam pozycję jedną, ale zaraz wam pokażę, nie wiem, w historii odnośnie Discorda. Czemu powinniście się zastanowić, czy warto go mieć i czy warto jakieś różnego rodzaju rozmowy przez niego prowadzić, bo chciałbym też przypomnieć, że obecnie Discord zmienił trochę politykę, jeśli chodzi o nagrywanie twoich rozmów, jak głosu używasz nawet. A jeśli chodzi o Chiny, no cóż, Chiny to nie jest rząd, który dba o twoją prywatność, tak tylko powiem. No właśnie, jak Discord robi pieniądze, bo za free jest, no nie ma reklam.
And in just 6 years, Discord went from being nothing to being worth over $7 billion, making it more valuable than Skype, Hinge, Pinterest, Tumblr and so many more. And unlike every other social media giant.
Okej, i powiem coś takiego, ja chciałem sobie kupić trochę akcji Discorda, ale tutaj na eToro nie ma Discorda. Chociaż nie wiem jaki Discord ma ale ten Tencent chce sobie wejść. No ja nie wiem czy cały obejrzymy sobie, ale może po prostu wam podgonię, żeby do mięcha chodź do mięcha. Dawaj, podgońmy. Okej, z inwestycje. No, ilość użytkowników, coraz więcej. A co użytkownicy mają, co jest cenne? Informacje, co jest cenne? Twoje dane, informacje o tobie. Okay? Discord to jest olbrzymia baza danych, która nie jest zakodowana w jakiś sposób, czyli wszystkie twoje wiadomości, które wysyłasz, wszystkie zdjęcia, które wysyłasz, rozmowy, bo teraz oni nawet i rozmowy chcą nagrywać, to wszystko jest przechowywane na ich serwerach. Jeśli skasujesz konto na Discordzie, one dalej jest. To wtedy się nazywa deleted user i wszystkie twoje wiadomości, wszystkie twoje dane, które tam rzuciłeś, zdjęcia i tak dalej, dalej tam jest. Wszystko to jest na serwerach Discorda. Na polskim YouTube nikt tak nie montuje, no. Patrz. On fajnie montuje, nie? No patrz.
This then brings in more users, which then brings in more investors. More investors means more investing into the app, which means more users and repeats. By continuing this cycle over several years, Discord is set to become $1 billion juggernaut. But this cycle can't go on forever.
No,
at a certain point, Discord needs
bąbelek
to
kiedyś musi
they
pęknąć.
sell the company, which is the final step in the Silicon Valley business model, where you artificially pump up your value and then sell your company to a big tech giant. And this is exactly what happened to Discord. In 2021, this Silicon Valley dream fell into Jason's lap, with Microsoft offering $12 billion
Patrz,
for the
odrzucił.
Jason's vision had come to life.
Gdzie zasuba gościu?
This was the opportunity he'd worked so hard to create. But strangely, he actually turned down this offer. Why? Well, in 2020 alone, Discord had generated $500 million from investors. Current investors seeding this round include Benchmark, Greylock Partners, Index Ventures, and Spark Capital, the same parent company behind Snapchat. Everyone was in on Discord. And this is one of the ways Discord can make so much money, by selling parts of their company and the access to data that comes with it. And this is quite sinister on its own, but the one name that stands out from the rest of these investment firms and makes the problem so much worse is Tencent.
Okay.
Tencent.
Powiem tak, od razu powiem, że koleś chyba za bardzo za Chinami nie przypada. O tak powiem.
and Tencent. In January 2021, Tencent was valued at almost $1 trillion. They are a modern
No, przed chwilą wam pokazywałem, że tak, trylion. Przed chwilą pokazywałem wam market cap ich. Okej, może jeszcze sobie przypomnijmy, żeby zobaczyć, czy on mówi prawdę, nie? Że Tencent $1 trylion market cap. Zobaczmy. Jeszcze raz. Portfolio, watchlist. Tencent. Spadł od 0,4. Market closed. No teraz trochę więcej. 3,6. Okej? 3,6.
Titan. And Tencent, like any other large company in China, is effectively a commercial branch of the CCP. But how
Tencent.
did they come to hold such a position of power over the world's economy?
CCP, czyli Communistic, ten, coś tam party?
Tencent is just an extension
Chinese
of the
Communist
CCP.
Party?
It is a communist company. And back in the day, they were a government mobile provider.
Communist
They quickly
Chinese Party,
expanded
tak o.
into video games and
CCP.
direct messaging. And in recent years, they're taking over
patrz.
the world.
No.
Owning majority equity
Patrz co robią, patrz gdzie wykupują, patrz co oni wykupują, co ten Tencent wykupuje, zobacz, Epic, Riot,
games, investing
League of
in
Legends,
one of
gościu.
the biggest social networks, WeChat, which has
Czyli słuchaj, generalnie zobacz, Tencent wykupuje, zobacz, Lola, Fortnite'a i tak dalej, po co? Żeby dane pozyskiwać ludzi. Wiesz, ty sobie grasz w gierkę, myślisz, że luzy, ale ty tam swoje dane podajesz. Wiesz, imię, nazwisko, wiek, miejsce zamieszkania i tak dalej, nie? Bo konto zakładasz, twoje hasła i to wszystko trafia do Chin i oni sobie patrzą, co się dzieje w ten sposób na zachodzie i rosną w siłę. Tak w skrócie.
has over 1 billion users worldwide, but it's important to have this power as Tencent has to follow the Chinese government's orders. And that's why if you're registered to a Chinese mainland phone number, then Tencent
Chyba będę coś
will
takiego robić.
and track the messages that you send.
Chyba będę robić
Tencent
coś
also
takiego.
tracks users'
W
locations,
sumie moderator
and
powinien
even more
takie coś
terrifyingly,
robić.
the messages they send through basic text messaging. And Tencent's control doesn't just stay within the Chinese borders.
I na 20 minut jest przypięty.
Tencent suppressed all information on WeChat regarding the elections and even banned people who lived in the US and Canada for discussing the elections. These are just the companies that are subsidiaries of Tencent, but Tencent has far more control than this. Tencent is the
Patrz.
CCP social media giant, and if there's anything scarier than big tech oligarchs, it's CCP big tech oligarchs. To expand China's cultural influence,
No, a wiesz, Zuckerberg to też jest szuja. Jedna z większych szuj, kurwa, na świecie.
Tencent has been buying up stakes in some of America's biggest tech giants.
No, patrz co, cofnijmy.
Tencent
Pa,
has
pa,
been
pa.
buying up stakes in some of America's
Zobacz co oni mają, czekaj, Snapchat, Riot Games, Epic, znaczy mają tam wykupione. Ubisoft, Assassin, Fortnite, League of Legends, to darmowa gierka League of Legends, Snapchat, tu jest Universal, Tesla, Call of Duty.
biggest tech giants, most notably buying a 38% share in
Patrz,
Discord.
38% akcji Discorda mają. No patrz, tego nie wiedziałem, nie?
Wiedziałeś
Wiedziałeś o tym, że tyle mają? To dużo jest, 38%, 38%.
Intelligence on the data of billions around the world, all while keeping any cooperation with the government a secret. And so when you understand that Tencent is just
No,
a subsidiary
nikt nawet ich nazwy nie kojarzy, bo to
it's hard to
chińskie.
imagine why Tencent has suddenly bought shares
I teraz zwróć uwagę na... Bo zobacz jak to działa, zobacz. Oni kładą łapę wszędzie na zachodzie, na informacje, żeby wiedzieć wszystko o wszystkich, ale do siebie nie wpuszczają informacji. Tam nie ma demokracji, tam nie ma, że możesz robić co chcesz, tam... Okej, firewall i nie wpuszczamy żadnych zachodnich informacji. Do nas łapy nie położycie, rozumiesz, nie?
600 companies at exactly the same time that the Chinese law required its companies to share user data with Beijing.
Ja o tym Tencent się niedawno dowiedziałem. A patrz jaki to jest gigant.
That's why Tencent was so quick to buy up 38% of Discord. So Tencent, a malicious, hostile, communist-run company, now has the majority control of Discord.
Normalnie aż mam ochotę więcej akcji ich wykupić. No bez kitu, ja muszę kupić ich akcji trochę.
And combined with Jason's dodgy password data, this starts to pose some serious questions about Discord itself. and especially about how Discord makes money. You see, Discord has a habit of saying that Discord would never sell your data, that Discord is private and that you'll
Private, bla bla bla,
But
pierdolenia.
this couldn't be any further from the truth. Discord always talks about its privacy policy with quotes such as, "We make money from paid subscriptions and the sale of digital and sometimes physical goods, not from selling your personal information."
Ale widzisz, to właśnie tak to jest z tymi gigantami, którzy są taką szarą eminencją.
You only
Tam
need to
gdzieś,
scroll down a
wiesz.
little bit to see what they're really doing with your data. Quote, "We may share information with vendors we hired to carry out specific
W cieniu
for
i
us.
wszystkim
We may also
kontrolują.
share limited information with advertising platforms to help us reach people that we think will like our products and to measure the performance of our ads shown on those platforms. We do this to help bring more users to Discord and provide the only platform required to facilitate these services. This may include information like the fact that you installed our app or registered to use Discord." Adding that quote, "We may share information with our related companies, including parents,
we make
subsidiaries,
share-
and other companies under common control and ownership."
Widzisz?
So taking this into consideration, it's becoming a
Czyli oni tam, słyszeliście co oni tam napisali, że mogą się dzielić informacjami z tymi, którzy na przykład mają akcje wykupione. Czyli z takim Tencentem, nie? 38% posiadają. I Tencent ma dostęp do bazy olbrzymiej Discorda.
parent who Discord really provides value to, and so it might not be a coincidence.
A ja bym chciał przypomnieć, że teraz próbują zbanować Pickpocka w Stanach Zjednoczonych i w sumie dobrze, bo to jest rakowa aplikacja, z której nie powinieneś korzystać. Ja muszę korzystać, z tym, że ja korzystam na zasadzie, że wrzucam klipy po to, żeby na profil ludzi zgarniać i przerzucać gdzie indziej. Nie korzystam z Pickpocka, żeby wiesz, wertować i oglądać i konsumować. Więc to jest trochę inaczej, nie?
That Discord happens to be very bad with your
Ale wy
personal
jak nie
information.
korzystacie,
For
nie
example,
korzystajcie.
right now, you might start to feel weird about having Discord and decide to delete it. But when you try to delete the
O,
app, you
deleted
realize
account.
your account was never deleted. You were just
Widzisz?
under the illusion that it was. For 2 weeks, you'll ostensibly have a choice whether to permanently ban your account or not. And after the 2 weeks, the account will seemingly be deleted, where all your data will be wiped from its servers. Except that's not the case with Discord.
No.
Instead, all of your data is stored within Discord servers, even when you've deleted your account, always storing this very useful data. And so, where is this data going? Well, obviously it's impossible to pinpoint exactly, but when you understand that Tencent
teraz weź sobie wyobraź, że ktoś ma problem z tym, że ja Discorda nie pilnuję swojego. Spokojnie, Discord pilnuje mojego Discorda. Kurwa, gościu.
Discord's major shareholder, who by law must send all data back to the Chinese government, starts to raise some questions.
Widzisz?
Which is honestly terrifying considering how much data Discord is accruing. As Discord scales by hundreds of millions a year, so does its control of the global population's data. Because Discord tracks every click and every word you type. Your age, your gender, your location, your contacts, your games, your activity, your social media accounts, your secrets. Every keystroke, every mouse click, every message, everything about you logged in Discord servers. Which when you think about it is pretty wild because even Facebook, a company whose CEO calls its users dumb is more private than Discord. Because Facebook, like most social media, is end-to-end encrypted, meaning that your private messages can't be accessed by anyone else. However, on Discord, a private message to your friend is never actually private. According to the Mozilla Foundation, Discord doesn't have end-to-end encryption like other messenger apps, such as WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger.
Suzine, na to pytanie odpowiem ci za 100 zł donate'a.
So then Discord's not only storing data on everything you type, every game you play, and every thought you have, but Discord is now also vulnerable to hackers stealing this data because of its weak encryption. Just one breach in Discord servers means hundreds of millions of people's personal information is now public to the world. And since Discord's
Muszę coś
owner
do jedzenia
Jason has
zrobić.
passed forward with lawsuits and controversies
Albo zamówię.
personal data, it's not hard to see where Discord's true value lies. And this is where things take a very sinister turn.
Zamówię.
So as we make clear, Discord isn't profitable, and unlike every other
Kurwa
social media
mać.
site, Discord is rejecting lucrative acquisition offers from
Gościu, ty. Chciałem wejść na pyszne i nacisnąłem S. I patrzę, a mi tu TV wskakuje. S. Myślę, kurwa mać, dobrze, że nie na tamtej stronie, tylko tu obok. No nie? A, dam napiwek może. Napiwek kierowcy. 10% napiwku. A, dam napiwek kierowcy. Kurwa, oni to jakiś credit card chcą. Dobra, nie dam na piwku, spierdalaj. Kurwa, człowiek chciał być raz w życiu miły. Spierdalaj, nie będzie. I sam ponownie. Wersja łagodna, wersja łagodna, wersja łagodna. Musztarda, czosnek, barbecue. W sumie barbecue 2 razy zamiast musztardy. Musztardę olać. Barbecue i czosnek. To, co zamawiałem ostatnim razem, no nie? Bo mam ochotę. No dobra, dalej.
Major tech giants, which is a very risky move considering that Discord has no long-term plan and offers little room for progress or even profit. And yet, Tencent continues to invest in Discord, taking an active interest in trying to acquire the company fully. So why is Tencent so obsessed with Discord? Well, by now it should be pretty clear. Tencent isn't risking hundreds of millions to connect people together and make the world a better place for free. Tencent is doing this to buy Discord's user data because Tencent is in the surveillance business. It is
Widzisz? Widzisz, po co im to jest potrzebne? Po co te wszystkie dane są potrzebne im?
Communists run global surveillance system in living history, and the more data Tencent acquires, the more powerful Tencent becomes. This is Tencent's business model, and when Tencent's power increases, so does the CCP's. You see, Tencent could try to make its own social media sites in the West, but instead it's far more easy to get millions of users by investing in the fastest growing social media companies with the largest user base. So of course Tencent has been leeching onto Discord's success, because the more data points they have, they can then combine this with all their other 600 investments to get an even clearer profile of the global population, making it easier to not only sell you things, but also to progress the CCP's 2049 ambition. Now it might sound like I'm
Jaka ich ambicja jest, jak
away
myślisz?
here. I mean, Discord's just a messenger app. What does any of this have to do with the CCP's 2049 ambitions? There's nothing to worry about, right? Chinese intelligence agencies.
Ale widzicie, jak to jest fajnie zrobione, patrz.
There's nothing to worry about.
I taki zoom i right? I te dźwięki takie, nie? Kto to edytował? Zajebiście, nie? Edytowane. Fajnie się to ogląda. Ile osób pracuje nad tymi filmami, mnie ciekawi. Ciężko sobie wyobrazić, że jedna osoba przy tym siedzi. Ale fajnie zrobione, fajnie się ogląda, nie?
The former deputy director of the NSA, US officials have observed Chinese cyber operations aimed at piercing US defense contractors, something that was occurring on a quote regular basis by around 2006 onwards. The Chinese were robbing the defense industrial base blind. These cyber incursions became a regular practice, with Chinese state hackers successfully compromising the Pentagon 20 times in a single year. And in 2018, Chinese operatives successfully hacked a US Navy contractor, stealing highly sensitive information related to the development of submarine missiles. And now in the 2020s, US security officials are deeply worried since privately owned Chinese companies are now acting as the tendrils of the Chinese government. It was for this reason that Tencent's WeChat app was recently banned in the US, and TikTok is getting banned in countries all around the world, and was almost actually banned by Trump. But by this point, it's too late. This can't be contained. Tencent has now invested in the biggest social media companies in the US. Companies like Reddit and Snapchat, and also some of the biggest social games like League of Legends and Fortnite. With all of these
Grasz w League of Legends? Grasz Fortnite'a? No cóż.
apps and games happening to be free to use.
To pamiętaj, że twoje informacje wszystkie są właśnie w Chinach już.
All because it's their vast user base that grants immense value to Tencent and the CCP. This isn't a normal money game, which is why Tencent's most lucrative investment is with Discord. an app that will soon be competing with WhatsApp Scale, all while being unencrypted and compromised by Tencent's data harvesting. Now, some of you might think that this sounds like just some stupid online conspiracy, but I promise you, it's really anything but. In recent years, China has been mining Western data to equip its government agencies with more leverage over the world. The Washington Post of all media companies actually reviewed bidding documents and contracts for over 300 Chinese government projects since 2020, and they found orders for software designed to collect data on foreign targets from Western social media. The documents are publicly accessible through domestic government bidding platforms.
Po co firmy powstają tam?
The state media, propaganda departments, police, military, and cyber regulators are all invested in more sophisticated systems to gather data for the CCP. Quote, now we have a better understanding of the anti-China underground network, said a Beijing-based analyst who works for China's Central Propaganda Department. And all of this global surveillance is part of Beijing's larger push to use big data and artificial intelligence to improve its international propaganda efforts, whilst also building a network of early warning systems that sound real-time alerts when trends threaten Beijing's interests. So why is China doing this? Well, Michael Pillsbury presented a lot of data in the 100-Year Marathon to argue that Chinese leadership has a systematic strategy to overtake the US as the world's dominating power, and they hope to complete this project by 2049. This is China's 2049 plan. It is of paramount importance to Xi Jinping, as this is the 100th anniversary of China's Communist Revolution.
Xi Jinping.
It is deeply embedded within the Chinese government. For more than 50 years, this message has been thoroughly documented in Chinese literature and is a central part of China's education system and their People's Liberation Army. There is absolutely no doubt that Chinese leader Xi Jinping is dedicated to ruling the rest of the world. In fact, these are his own words. This is his guiding message to party members and the public. And this really shouldn't be a surprise. Grand visions of world dominance have always been a component of communist beliefs, and Xi Jinping sees himself as the one who will fulfill China's destiny.
Xi Jinping
has completely ignored this for decades. We just thought of China as the place that makes our iPhones, and China played along with this, convincing Western politicians and business elites that China was moving towards democracy and capitalism. In reality, we funded China's rise. We fueled their ambition to take over the world. I mean, it's so common now for Western companies to voluntarily give away trade secrets in the hope of gaining access to China's massive market. And by doing this, companies always have to toe the party line. And we're talking about the huge companies that influence trends in Western society. Disney, the NBA, Nike, Apple all cave to the whims of the CCP. And this whole process is...
O, gościu, dziennika. You will suck.
Kucyk podkreślenie Kamil podarował 6 zł i 66
A ty
groszy.
dziku,
Masz
dzięki za
na
szóstkę.
świąteczne jajko.
A to jajka
A przy
dzisiaj
okazji,
są jakieś.
kiedy Elden Ring albo jakieś Soulsy?
Elden Ring na dniach. Soulsy.
isn't an accident, but rather part of China's long-term strategy. A long-term strategy to influence global events for a profit, using enormous amounts of data and cutthroat business practices to dominate the West. And these effective and downright ruthless actions taken by the CCP aren't being used against China. In fact, the whole Chinese government is set up in this authoritarian capitalist model to succeed where the West fails. They have Orwellian strength and the money to fund it, which is why every major Western social media site is blocked in China. Not to mention the addictive social games like every major Western social media site.
Patrz, co jest zablokowane w Chinach. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, Snapchat. A oni mają tam akcje swoje w tym. Picasa, WordPress, Blogspot, Blog, Medium, bla. Badu, Google Hangouts.
Site is blocked.
Patrz, list of blocked websites in China. Okej, co jest zablokowane? Zobacz. Google, YouTube, Facebook, Wikipedia, Max Internet, Reddit, Netflix, Zoom, Blogspot, Bing, Instagram, WhatsApp, Twitch, Stream Store, Steam Community, Spotify, Messenger, Twitter, Unblocked. Skype is unblocked. Tumblr, okej. Partially blocked. Messenger partially blocked. Czekaj, tak o zrobię. Partially blocked, czyli Twitter. Available for tourists in Hainan. Czy Hainan. Messenger available for tourists. Service not available. Unlocked. Spotify unlocked. Service not available. Tumblr, Pinterest. Dropbox. Pornhub, Medium. Dailymotion, BBC, The New York Times, Vimeo. The Guardian, Searcher, Discord. Discord nawet jest u nich zablokowany. Żeby wiesz, danych nie zbierali od Chińczyków. The Washington Post. Bloomberg, Flickr, Wrench, HuffPost. Patrz ile NBA, NBC News, Time. Ciekawe czy PewDiePie tu będzie. Nie no, YouTube zablokowany, więc HBO, Hong Kong Free Press. Apply also. No, mają swoje alternatywy.
In China, not to
No,
mention the addictive
cenzura
social
na
games like
max.
Fortnite being banished from the country, because by doing this, China stops the West gaining any data on the Chinese population.
No,
They understand
widzisz?
how powerful it is to harvest all of this data. There is
No, to po to oni blokują. Przede wszystkim, żeby z Zachodu nie mieli danych i informacji o ludziach nie pobierali.
nothing the US.
A gościu, skąd on... Czemu oni nie chcą? Skąd oni wiedzą, że tamte firmy by pozyskały dane o obywatelach? Bo kurwa sami to robią. Swój
Will
to
Europe
pozna.
do to gain any tiny fraction of China's data on us? Tencent and ByteDance, the company that owns TikTok, now control all millennials and Zoomers' entire virtual life.
No ale ten WeChat dlatego jest z kolei zbanowany w Stanach. Bo ten WeChat służy właśnie do tego, żeby informacje pozyskiwać o ludziach.
We've been beaten in a
wszystko.
fight we didn't even know existed.
Tak jak
And in
pickpocket.
the news, we always see Facebook, Twitter, and Amazon being questioned for their data handling. But the news, commentators, and media
Tego więcej.
flat out ignores the widespread data harvest performed by the CCP, or more officially Tencent and ByteDance. So then it all comes back to the point: is Discord really free? I mean, Discord provides great value to its users, but the true value of Discord is to its majority shareholder Tencent. And as Discord comes to rival WhatsApp in the messaging industry, huge chunks of the world's data will always be under the watchful eye of the CCP, which is what made January 6th so scary. Because as I mentioned at the start, Discord was
Discordzie
revealed
się
to be the
zaczęło.
main social media platform behind these riots. This was evidenced by the insurrection being planned on Discord for weeks. 18 publicly accessible Discord servers showed how
No i teraz wyobraź sobie, że od tygodni, zanim doszło do tych zamieszek, gdzie kilka osób tam zginęło, nie? Na Discordzie były te wszystkie informacje, że ludzie się zbierali już na Discordzie do tego. I Chiny o tym wiedziały, bo mają dostęp do tych informacji. Chiny wiedziały o tym. Rząd chiński wiedział, co się stanie. Generalnie można by powiedzieć, że Chiny dzięki temu, że mają dostęp do tak olbrzymich informacji, mogą przyszłość przewidywać. Rozumiesz? To tak jak z przepowiadaniem pogody, no nie? Na kilka dni do przodu da się przewidzieć. Na podstawie informacji, które się pozyska.
plan the attempted coup on January 6th was. It was revealed that over 2 million Discord messages were behind this insurrection. Messages that connected supporters together, with all of them sharing the desires to see violence take place and sometimes bragging about their adventures during the storming of the Capitol grounds. Now obviously I'm not saying that Discord is directly responsible for these riots. And while the riots were concerning and said a lot about how divided we've become, there's something way more disturbing about these riots, which is that all this data collected in the build up to the riots was stored in Discord servers the entire time. Remember, this isn't just simple encrypted user data like you'd find on WhatsApp. No, we're talking about every message, every game, your location, browsing history, everything. With all of this stored, monitored and analyzed by the Chinese government. The implications of this are enormous, because as Tencent is legally required to send all this data back to the Chinese government while keeping it a secret, it means that the Chinese government very likely knew about the January 6th riots. They had all the information in advance, and might very well have used it to its advantage. And this is just one event of many. I mean, have you ever wondered how in the last year or so, China always seems to be positioned perfectly in every major event? The January 6th protests, the Ukraine war, the political division spreading across the world, inflation, the rise of TikTok. It's becoming very, very clear how much leverage China has over everyone. And this is what's so scary about Discord. Discord is a great app. It provides immense value, and it doesn't really make any money. But its
link już się
growth is
odciął,
exponential.
zajebiście.
And just by judging how useful this app
Nie,
will
bo
be
na
in the
czas
future,
dałem
it's
20
only a
minut.
matter of time for Discord to rival WhatsApp, because no app competes with Discord's utility, which is the perfect news for Tencent. This gives Tencent access to untold millions data, allowing China to predict events, riots, general instability, and the attitudes of entire countries and their world views. By understanding entire populations, China can use this to always position itself perfectly, always using this data for its advantage. So as Discord grows, so does China's control of the global population. Because if you are not paying for the product, you are the product.
No. I o tym pamiętajcie. Mądre słowa. Jeśli nie płacisz za produkt, to ty jesteś produktem.